Hello there, people! So I've been slowing down everything to kind of focus on some Doom WODs since I haven't done such in a little bit of time. Kind of get prepared for a headset stream that we end up not really be able to do because of bad scheduling. Whoopsie daisy! And also the fact of the matter that I'm just kind of doing different things right now and juggling a bunch of different projects. So yeah, Quake has kind of been a little bit slower for the time being, but at the same time, I do wish to continue Quake, and I'm trying to push forward as much as possible at the same time. I just want to mix it up with some variety and not keep it stagnant to just Quake. Because that's bad. And we also need to eventually head back in Thief and Unreal. I know about those two, yes, don't worry, I haven't forgotten them. I know it's been a while since I've included either. But yeah, they're basically plans to do like in the future and start back up. They're basically like things I kind of started a bit earlier than I had originally planned, and then I kind of changed my plans like midway through the entire thing. So yeah, I'm basically trying to juggle everything just to try and get through a bunch of Quake stuff, get it kind of situated. The way I'm kind of looking at things right now is, I guess the best way of saying it is kind of like a balance between what I used to do and what I kind of do now. I think it's like the best way. I almost want to see like shooters and kind of like a progressive view. I want to see like starting from the 3D era shooters. That's one of the big differences. I'm not here to like see progression through like Doom and Hetza and all that stuff. That stuff is just side stuff that I'm doing because why not? But really, they have nothing to do with actual progression. The actual progression is focusing mainly on Quake going forward. I'm seeing 3D shooters and 3D based games in general, I guess you could say, and seeing how those engines evolve and build. Except for times when I really don't want to play a certain game, have no interest in doing it. I'm more going to be judgmental about certain things. If I don't feel like doing something, I'm just going to say I don't want to do it. But otherwise, we're just going to try and do like a building-based style thing or so and kind of progressively build up. So yeah, it's a bit more time to get to the other things, but the idea is that I want to kind of build up Quake so that way Quake is built up and around the era of everything else. Just because everything else is like in 98 and Quake is kind of sitting around in 96, and there's certain things with like the Quake engine, so if I'm correct, that have like connections to everything else. So I'd rather have like seen certain things in Quake before we get to like the Unreal based versions or whatever. Like I said, it really isn't the biggest thing, but at the same time, I do kind of want to retain something like that. And it's very different from how it was in the past because it's not torture, it's not anything. It's not influences, so it's not going to take months at all. It's going to do like other stuff that I want to do. So yeah, it's basically just trading one thing that I want to do for another thing I want to do and kind of just do it in a certain organized fashion. And so therefore I think the best way to organize it and kind of do things is kind of with like a progressive idea, kind of like what I'm doing with Quake, but more of like a larger idea in general, so we throw back in Unreal and Thief around the appropriate time, so we kind of have everything getting managed well. Just makes it a bit better. I think that's kind of how I'm going to cover things. So yeah, if you guys have been wondering what's been going on, that's kind of the idea I'm starting to formulate, and I believe I'm going to implement. So yeah. No real big news or whatnot, that I'm going to just continue focusing on Quake and doing basically what I have been doing. It's really like, honestly, I'm announcing it like it's a big thing, but really the differences that you're going to see is virtually none, because I was planning on basically playing a lot of these games anyway, and it just means that I'm going to try and be a bit more thorough with my coverage and check out certain titles around the late 90s that I'm interested in checking out. I'm looking forward to certain blind playthroughs of certain late 90s titles, and we have a lot of things to cover. So yeah, it's a brilliant time. We have a lot to do. We're not for shortage of resources at all. We have so much to cover. But at the same time, like I said, that's kind of what the whole idea is with everything. And so therefore, right now, I'm kind of like just balancing up some Quake stuff, because right now, Quake is like the only 3D game around right now. Unless you might go like Tomb Raider. And I don't know, maybe I should throw Tomb Raider into the mix. Um, Not sure about that one. I might potentially do that. I have to think about that one, but I think the problem with that is it has issues playing under Windows 7, and if I'm correct, that means it'll have a lot of problems playing under Windows 8. But we'll see. We'll see if like I can get that one working or what's going on. And with that in mind, we'll try and play it, see what happens, because that would be pretty nice to showcase that. Just kind of have it like a nice evolutionary based thing. And anyway, right now the thing I kind of care about is Quake. I kind of want to cover everything Quake-wise for 96 at the very least. So yeah, for a while we really wouldn't have to worry about anything anyway. So no matter what, really, I haven't really done anything. um, I just kind of want to give a bit more clarification to everything, and hopefully you guys kind of get now what the plans are with everything, what I'm doing, and how I'm kind of moving forward. I don't even know if I kind of announced something like this before in the past. Maybe I did. I kind of forget if I did or didn't. Um, I think I announced I was doing the 3 games, but I think I forgot to announce anything like this. And so, yeah, those might have been like kind of left stagnant or something like that. That's kind of why, I guess. Because they're a bit more chronologically forward than Quake, and because of that, it kind of has the bad burden of having to now make me catch up in Quake first. Like I said, I'm not going to catch up in other games. Don't worry about me doing it for Doom. Don't worry about it for Hetson. None of those. Those have no merit whatsoever on anything else I do. Maybe Hetson for like Hetson 2. I want to like check out Hetson 2 eventually. But that one's going to be a bit different than how I'm doing like things currently or so. So for the time being, just that's a bit off because that's 97 anyway. But for the time being, we just need to worry about Quake and shooting things. That's really at the end of the day all I'm trying to say. We're shooting things at Quake. The end. Quake. That's the game. Well, Quake and throw in some Doom from time to time to mix up some variety. Plus, it can be a bit more fun to do like some Doom levels. So yeah. So what am I exactly checking out today? My first little Quake level in a little bit of time. Well, I'm checking out DMAS11. We're still not done with the whole Deathmatch-based series. Yeah, it's a really long Deathmatch-based thing, but we're getting near the end. Deathmatch, I believe, is 13, and we're currently on DMAS11, so we're pretty much almost there. We're right around the corner. And so therefore, it is pretty nice, because we're almost done with the actual campaign. It could get to whatever in God's name else we're getting to. So this level is called Entering Tunnels of Mayhem. That pretty much is all we care about. Like, as usual, that's really all I know. Hooray for getting no documentation on this stuff. Hooray! Let's just load it up and see what there is, because that's all I got. I can't really do anything more for you people. I'm sorry. But I'm not giving any details. And so here we are. And a level that doesn't even fully fit its title and has the word entering in it because, entering is so promising. This was probably made by the same exact guy who did John level. And it added insult to injury. There's no music. Yay! Alright, let's go check out some stuff. We have nails. Am I in deathmatch mode? I can't even tell. Okay, we're in deathmatch mode. That's good to know. Okay, double-barreled shotgun, a rocket launcher, we're doing amazing. Okay, so we have a bunch of random junk in this room, and we have 4 ways out of this one room. This could get confusing. Which way do I go? Well, the way I'm seeing it, there's like a curvature to that way. It looks like it's going to the left. So that means that the right way must go somewhere isolated. This way, of course, is going to go further right. This way is going to go further left, which is controlled by this. So I'm going to go this way and see what happens. And we get to a freaking long corridor! Well, let's go left and see what happens. Okay, nails, and let's keep going against this wall. Oh, look! A nail gun! Hooray! We found the best gun in the game! A pathetic nail gun! Now I can pot shot people. At least the good news is here, even if you want to complain about like the lack of music or lack of anything, there is still sound effects. Like, listen to all the dripping sounds. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. You can hear dripping while wandering around these halls and shoot things. And you can always pretty much hear it. It's not like it's ever really faint. So this is definitely like a massive step up from like the days of Q2, whereby this wouldn't be the case. We have little balconies on the top, little like wooden rafters. That's another thing Q2 wouldn't have. So yeah, even though it's a bunch of corridor runners and it looks very, very dull, because that pretty much is what the entire level is. It's a bunch of corridors, so don't really expect much for variety here. It's a lot better than like Q2 type corridor runners. And I really do have to like argue that point because I remember like people in the past saying, "Oh man, it's another Q2 level." No, it's not in the slightest. If you knew what Q2 is like, this is like heavily refined to those days. This is probably more on par with like Dark Hour level, I guess. But the problem is with even Dark Hour, it didn't have sound effects. Like it didn't have this dripping in the background. This is a very important key here, people. This detailing on the top is very important. This was like a very rare thing to see in either or pack generally. So seeing it sin right here is not really that important, but it's something. And yeah, we get some pretty armor, shiny little armor. And we can wander around aimlessly in this giant freaking maze. That looks horrible, but at the same time might play better, who knows. And it does feel like it's a nice little interconnected area with some exploration. In fact, that's what pretty much my complaint has been a lot recently, is that there's no exploration. Well, guess what? We got exploration here. We got like all these different corridors to go down. And linearity, I don't think there is any linearity here. It goes all over the place, which is awesome to someone who's just spent a bunch of time doing linearity. And look at that, the quad damage. Something that I was complaining about last time hadn't existed in any deathmatch map in Aftershock. So yeah, see? There's a lot more balance here than any other level just because there's a quad damage and the rocket launcher in the beginning room over here. So yeah, you have to come like all the way over, well, all the way down that corridor too, from this little dead end way. You have to come down this little dead end way and can most likely get killed by anyone while picking up the quad damage or the armor. So yeah, it's like this little dead end that's really risky, but allows you to have some power against someone who has the rocket launcher, which is nice. So yeah, I'm seeing definitely some terms of balance here that are really, really nice. It's not a pretty level, not a very memorable level at all. Like, I don't really appreciate this level in terms of like looking at it. But in terms of playability, I can't imagine this being too horrible, honestly. Just in terms of how it is kind of balanced. The end is near! Oh dear God, it's made by that guy! I am surprised, people. I am honestly very surprised. It's made by the same guy who made a bunch of terrible levels. Wow. Well, apparently he decided looks aren't important and gameplay is, and finally made a decent level. A level that we're going to totally forget and probably be better to play any other level out there just because it'd be more memorable. And it's pretty much terrible for us single players because all we do is wander around and appreciate levels, and all we're doing is looking at purple textures with green ceilings. But at the same time, it is a decent deathmatch level, at least in terms of like how it looks towards balance. And that's really all you can really say is that the gameplay is good, right? Here's the super nailgun, which really is kind of irrelevant, but it's a thing. It's a thing, and has shotgun shells everywhere for some reason. Okay, so we have two ways down here. These corridors probably link up. We have like some rockets down here. Oh look, more free rockets. So this corridor, of course, links around with this area. This is just a little dead end with health. So what's down here? Nails? Oh look, a second yellow armor, in case the first yellow armor wasn't enough. There's the second one, randomly thrown around the air. Okay. At least there's enough yellow armor. Now, if there was another rocket launcher, we might be really in business. So far, I'm not seeing that. But yeah, you come down this corridor. You see two ways. This route leads around, of course, and basically is the opposite side of where we just were. So yeah, this is like one very long corridor. So really, it's like two long corridors on either side. They're pretty symmetrical, but not really. You know, it pretty much makes sense if you're watching this video right now, but yeah. Someone out there gets it. Oh, look, a grenade launcher. That is something, I guess. And a nail gun. What's with this guy and nail guns? That's like 3 nail guns. Who needs so many nail guns in a level? Give me another rocket launcher. Dude, stop with the grenade, nail guns. That doesn't help anybody. Like, really? What is it about this guy's obsession with nail guns? Like, thinking they're overly powerful or something. Oh, look, more rockets. And if you come down this long corridor, at the very end, you can find a double-barreled shotgun. Sweet. Now, if we can find a rocket launcher, we might be in business. But so far, I am not finding one. What is it with these people and their version of rocket launchers everywhere? I mean, seriously, there should be multiple rocket launchers in this level. It's big enough. It's big enough to include multiple rocket launchers, people. So why isn't there multiple rocket launchers here? I find this to be a problem. If there's no double rocket launchers in your level, this is pretty much a big problem. And no. There's a bunch of armors. In fact, there's like 4 armors, 1 on each corner. But one problem is there's no real firepower. Like, there's nothing really on this side besides a grenade launcher, which is good because it's corridor-based, so you can, like, bounce grenades around. It's a lot more threatening here. But at the same time, I still feel like the rocket launcher probably dominate. And really, there's, like, no other thing around here, on this side especially. You really want to go to the side with the quad damage to, like, a dead-end area where you're probably going to get killed by a guy with a rocket launcher over and over. Yeah, guess who's going to get the quad damage every time? The guy with the rocket launcher! So, yeah, honestly, I'm not really feeling it with this level. It has some balance. It is pretty nice. It definitely has better balance than the other levels. And the quad damage definitely helps with that balance. I really feel the quad damage is the key here. The fact of the matter that there's a quad damage means that it probably would work better as a deathmatch level than every other level up to this point. However, I can still imagine someone easily dominating this level simply because there isn't a second rocket launcher. Like, really, why is there one rocket launcher? I guess it's good that it's a central room where they have to, like, fight to stay alive. But, still, it feels like something that's... Like, there should be a second rocket launcher, I feel. I just can't imagine it being too... I mean, I guess, like I said, the good news is that it's in the main hub area, so it's like everyone's going to try and kill the guy with the rocket launcher, or who just picked up the rocket launcher. So, I do have to say that it has decent balance. Like, I can't, if I have to give gripes to this, I have to give gripes to certain other levels, like, DM3, I guess. But yeah, honestly, I don't really feel like that level was too much of a problem. It was like, no, DM2 had 2 rocket launchers, didn't it? Did it have 2? Or did it only have 1? I think it had 2 red armors, but only 1 rocket launcher. Yeah, it only has 1 rocket launcher, but it's in a central area, so that means everyone can end up fighting for it. I do find it interesting that there's a lack of Thunderbolt ammo here, though. There's no Thunderbolt. Yeah. No idea why. But, no Thunderbolt. And the rocket launcher is a central area, which means everyone would fight for it. But luckily, there is a quad damage that can allow for some control as well. So yeah, basically the opposite side of the map is pretty useless. Unless you want to go for the red armor, but really, why would you go for the red armor when the yellow armor is pretty fine and is right next to the quad damage? Like, I can understand going to it after you've gotten everything else, but really, you want to kind of control the side that has the quad damage. Like, really, if you had to choose between a quad damage or red armor, I think I would choose the quad damage every single time. But that's just me. Anyway, I think I'm going to get out of here. There's really nothing more to say. It's a pretty unpretty level to look at. I'm talking a lot about the practicality of Deathmatch. But the problem is, I can't really give too much of an opinion on that even, because, well, at the end of the day, I can't really play this in a Deathmatch to test it myself. And so a lot of this is just base assumptions. So while I do want to say that it does have some potentially better design than a lot of his other levels, I do have to also argue that I don't know, honestly. I haven't been able to play this level with anybody. So I have absolutely zero idea if this level's actually decent. Who knows? It might be the worst thing since the spawn is Satan. Well, that's horrible, but that's a thing. So yeah, all we can really do is wander around these levels, look at them, and appreciate them. And at the end of the day, that means this level kind of suffers, because at the end of the day, this is just a level that is pretty monotonous and has the same exact look everywhere you go in it. So yeah, it kind of goes down in history as a pretty terrible level, just because it looks bad. Because at the end of the day, that's really all we're doing in these levels, is appreciating their looks. We can't play them, we can't really do anything with them, so we wander around and look at everything. And it looks horrible. So, yeah. Well, we tried. Anyway, time to get to the bloody exit. Get out of this place. The end is near. And look at his very, I guess you could say, trademark teleporter exit thing. Like, he loves using these arch-like things. He never named them, though. I mean, unless you call it the end. But, yeah, he never named them, so I can't, like, give it an official thing. Because of that. See, this is the difference between official stuff and non-official stuff. What was it? The end pedestal only exists in one level. But he named it. So, therefore, it became an important entity. This was never named, and therefore it's not an important entity. Recognize the difference, people. If you get a message on your screen that says something, and it names something, that means it's important. It deserves a Wiki article. Otherwise, it doesn't. See, this is the important rule to live by. So yeah, I pretty much just summarized Wiki and really why things are the way they are. In a nutshell. But yeah, honestly, I have no idea who this guy is. He never named himself. He might be the same guy who did episode 2. I really don't know. Wouldn't surprise me, actually, because of how, like, buggy episode 2 was. And so, therefore, how, like, amateurish he is in comparison to, like, everyone else. But honestly, I have zero clue. Like, there's nobody that says, like, anything, like, any credits for him. All I know about him is that he's a guy. Or maybe a girl. Who knows? I don't even know his gender. Hooray! That's how little I know about this guy. Or girl. Or whoever he is. Maybe it's an alien entity from the planet Brujok. Yes, he's like a weird creature with 3 tentacles. And likes to be referred to as it. What an amazing creature that is that made all these Quake levels. But yeah, see, this is what we're kind of resulted in because, well, we don't really have anything else to base it on. Hooray! But yeah, this is what happens when you don't include a readme. Gregory McMurray did! Why didn't you? This is why Gregory McMurray definitely had the right idea, and I wish more people did what he did. Look at the purple! Look at the purple circles, people! It's trippy! Anyway, let's go in it. Okay, there we are. Hope you like this. We got to see the color purple. Yeah, it was like Barney everywhere. Amazing level, right? This really was the epitome of all levels that we could look at. And here we are in another level, which we'll check out next time. You know, when else would we check it out? Obviously not right now! Anyway, thank you very much all for watching. It has been an adventure. A very pointless adventure involving a lot of the same looking corridors, but an adventure nonetheless. And I shall see you all next time.